Have you ever poured your heart into someone, your time, your kindness, your very peace of mind, only to feel emptier in return? It's a silent pain many of us know too well. You sacrifice, you bend yourself out of shape, hoping that somehow your devotion will hold everything together. Yet instead of closeness, you find distance. Instead of security, you feel uncertainty. And in the end, you're left wondering, where did I lose myself in all of this? This is not just about romance. It can happen with friends, with family, even with colleagues. Whenever you allow someone else's desires to outweigh your own values, you begin to slip away from your center. And slowly, piece by piece, you surrender the very essence of who you are. But what if I told you there's another way? A way rooted in timeless wisdom that guided warriors, leaders, and thinkers through the storms of life for over 2,000 years. The Stoics believed that true freedom is not about controlling others, but about mastering yourself, your thoughts, your boundaries, your choices. Today, we'll uncover 9 crucial things a man should never do with women or with anyone if he wants to protect his dignity, his peace, and his strength. These aren't harsh rules. They're gentle reminders. Guardrails that keep you steady when emotions threaten to pull you off track. And here's the truth. Once you stop doing these 9 things, you not only see your relationship shift, you'll see yourself transform. Because when you stop trading your worth for acceptance, you start living with real self-respect. So take a breath, settle in, and let's walk this path together. You may just discover that the freedom you've been searching for has been within you all along. Don't reshape your life to fit others. Imagine trying to force puzzle pieces that were never meant to fit. The harder you push, the more frustration builds until the picture you're creating makes no sense at all. That's what happens when you reshape your life to match someone else's expectations. At first, it may seem harmless, changing a hobby, ignoring a dream, or bending your values just to keep the peace. But with every small compromise, a piece of you goes missing. Psychologists call this the self-expansion trap. When we merge too much of ourselves into another person, we risk losing our own identity. Instead of becoming stronger together, you become blurred, dependent, and unsure of where you end and they begin. And once that line disappears, so does your confidence. The Stoics warned against this centuries ago. Seneca reminded us, everywhere means nowhere. If you scatter your energy trying to please everyone, you end up belonging nowhere, not even to yourself. The truth is, you weren't born to be a copy. You weren't meant to fade into someone else's story. Your uniqueness, the passions, the quirks, the fire inside you is not a weakness to hide, but the very strength that makes you whole. So stand tall in your own skin. Set your course, write your story, and let others walk beside you, not instead of you. Because the moment you stop reshaping yourself for approval, you finally become the person worthy of respect, love, and freedom. Don't ruin your life by obsession. Obsession feels like devotion, but it's really a cage. At first, it may look like love, constant calls, endless messages, rearranging your life just to be available. But the truth is, when your entire world begins to orbit around one person, you're no longer living freely, you're trapped in their gravity. Think of a satellite circling a planet. It has no path of its own, no destination of its own. It only exists in relation to what it revolves around. That's what obsession does to a man's soul. Instead of nurturing your goals, your growth, and your peace, you slowly abandon them. And the more you abandon yourself, the more invisible you become. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "Nowhere can a man find a quieter retreat than in his own soul." When you're obsessed, you forget that retreat. You forget that you already carry peace within you. And instead of leading your life, you start begging for someone else to define it for you. Here's the paradox. The more you obsess, the more you push others away. Because true connection isn't built on desperation, it's built on balance, respect, and self-worth. So take back your orbit, ground yourself in your own passions, your own discipline, your own soul. Love, when it comes, should be an addition to your life, not a replacement for it. You are the lead in your own story, not a supporting character in someone else's. Don't sacrifice your mental health. Your mind is like a fortress. It's the stronghold where every decision, every dream, and every ounce of courage is born. But the moment you give away your peace of mind to please someone else, it's as if you open the gates and handed over the keys. Too many men fall into this trap. They silence their own needs, suppress their own struggles, and carry burdens that were never theirs, to begin with, all for the sake of keeping another person happy. At first, it feels noble, but over time, it drains you, leaving your spirit brittle and exhausted. Modern psychology confirms this. Studies on self-control and loneliness show that when we lose our balance and abandon our inner boundaries, we become more vulnerable, not just emotionally, but socially. Without mental resilience, relationships crumble, and isolation soon follows. The Stoics warned of the same. Epictetus taught that while you cannot control what others do, you can always control how you protect your inner world. To give that away is to lose the very core of freedom. So remember this saying, yes, at the expense of your sanity is never love, it's self-destruction. Guard your peace the way a warrior guards his shield. Because without a sound mind, you cannot lead, you cannot love, and you cannot truly live. Your mental health is not negotiable. Protect it, and you protect everything else that matters. Don't push family and friends away. Picture a great tree standing tall in the wind. Its branches reach in every direction, holding it steady against the storm. Now, imagine cutting off those branches one by one. What happens? The tree grows weaker, more fragile, and eventually, it topples. That's exactly what happens when you distance yourself from family and friends for the sake of one person. Love can be powerful, but it should never isolate you. The truth is, our closest relationships, the people who have known us through laughter and struggle, are our strongest roots. When you turn your back on them, you're not only pushing others away, you're cutting off the very support system that keeps you grounded. Research on belongingness shows that humans have a fundamental need to feel connected. Being excluded or abandoning close ties can cause a pain as real and sharp as physical injury. The Stoics understood this too. Plato once said that people can either nourish your growth or poison it. If you surround yourself with only one source of validation, you risk withering the bonds that sustain you. So protect those ties. Call your brother, visit your mother, laugh with the friends who stood by you before love ever entered the picture. Because when storms hit, and they always do, it is this circle of support that will hold you up. Never sacrifice the family and friends who strengthen you. True love doesn't ask you to sever your roots. It grows stronger because they are there. Don't waste all your time on them. Time is the one treasure you can never earn back. Every hour you give away is gone forever. So the question is, who deserves it? Too often men pour endless time into someone who only drains them, hoping that constant attention will prove their love. But instead of building intimacy, it creates imbalance. You're no longer living your life, you're leasing it out. Seneca warned us, it is not that we have a short time to live, but that we waste much of it. When your minutes, days, and years revolve around someone else's, demands you surrender the very gift that defines your existence. Love becomes an abyss that swallows your vitality instead of fueling it. Modern psychology calls this privacy regulation, the ability to balance social interaction with personal space. When that balance breaks, when you give too much time away, resentment builds. You begin to feel empty, unfulfilled and strangely invisible. The truth is, time is not a bargaining chip, it's your life itself. Invest it wisely. Share it with people who add joy, with pursuits that challenge you, with passions that spark your soul. A healthy relationship doesn't consume all your hours, it enriches them. So guard your time as if it were gold, because it is. Once it's gone, no one, not even love, can give it back. Don't reveal every past wound. Your past is like a journal written in ink, every triumph, every mistake, every scar etched onto its pages. But not everyone deserves to flip through those chapters. When you reveal every painful detail of your history too soon, you're handing someone the sharpest parts of your story without knowing if they'll hold them with care or use them against you. We've all met people who seem sympathetic at first, only to later turn our confessions into weapons. And once those words leave your mouth, you can't take them back. The Stoics taught us to guard our inner world, to share with wisdom rather than impulse. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily, the happiness of your life depends on the quality of your thoughts. Some thoughts are meant to guide you privately, not to be exposed recklessly. This doesn't mean hiding who you are. It means choosing discernment. Share lessons, not vulnerabilities. Share strength, not every wound. Because your scars are proof of battles survived, they are part of your resilience, not tokens for others to judge. Trust must be earned, and only time reveals whether someone is worthy of your deeper truth. Until then, hold your story close. Protect it like a treasure, because it is. Remember, not every page of your past belongs in someone else's hands. Don't say yes just to please. Think about the last time you agreed to something you didn't want to do. Maybe it was a small favor, maybe a big sacrifice. At the moment, it felt easier to nod along than to face the tension of saying no. But afterward, what lingered wasn't peace, it was resentment. Every false yes chips away at your happiness until you no longer recognize what truly matters to you. People-pleasing may look like kindness, but it's often fear in disguise, fear of rejection, fear of conflict, fear of not being enough. The Stoics saw this clearly. Marcus Aurelius reminded himself daily that a man's life depends on the quality of his thoughts, not on the applause of others. When you abandon your own desires to satisfy someone else's, you betray those thoughts in your very soul. Modern studies on self-control echo this wisdom. When you fail to set boundaries, frustration builds and relationships grow weaker, not stronger. Genuine connection comes from honesty, not from endless compliance. Learning to say no is not selfish, it's freedom. It's the power to honor your own time, your own values, and your own dreams. Because every time you say no to something that doesn't align with you, you're saying yes to the life you were meant to live. Remember, this respect is not earned by always agreeing. It's earned by standing firm even when it's hard. Don't let fear of solitude control you. For many men, the thought of being alone feels like a punishment. They rush into relationships, cling to unhealthy bonds, or settle for less just to avoid the silence of solitude. But here's the truth. Solitude isn't emptiness. It's opportunity. The Stoics often embraced solitude not as isolation, but as a space for clarity. Aristotle said, "Knowing yourself is the beginning of all wisdom, and you cannot know yourself if you're terrified of your own company." Fear of solitude is what drives desperate choices, accepting mistreatment, giving away freedom, ignoring your inner voice just to keep someone by your side. Modern psychology agrees. Research shows that chosen solitude time spent alone intentionally actually strengthens self-awareness, sparks creativity, and restores mental balance. The problem isn't being alone. It's fearing what you might discover when the noise fades. Instead of running from solitude, step into it. Take a walk by yourself. Read, reflect, breathe. Listen to your own thoughts without distraction. Because once you learn to enjoy your own presence, You'll never again depend on someone else to fill your emptiness. The irony is this: the more comfortable you are alone, the more attractive, stable, and free you become in relationships. You don't cling, you choose. You don't beg, you invite. Solitude doesn't weaken you, it equips you. So let go of the fear. Stand tall in the quiet. That's where your true strength begins. Celebrate small wins. Life is not only measured in milestones, but also in the quiet victories along the way. Yet many men overlook these moments, rushing past them as if they hold no value. They wait for the big promotion, the perfect relationship, or the dramatic breakthrough, ignoring the daily steps that make those achievements possible. But here's the truth: every small win matters. Choosing not to send that angry message, waking up early to exercise, saying no when it was easier to say yes, these are victories. They prove your discipline, your courage, and your commitment to growth. Epictetus wisely said, never depend on the admiration of others. The recognition you seek should come first from yourself. Modern psychology supports this. Celebrating small wins fuels motivation and builds resilience. Each acknowledgement strengthens the habit, reminding your brain that progress is happening, even if it's slow. And that consistency is what shapes the man you become. So pause, breathe, recognize the effort you've made today, even if no one else sees it, because your journey isn't only about arriving at some distant destination. It's about honoring the process, the sweat, the doubts, the little triumphs that carry you forward. Clap for yourself, toast your progress, and celebrate not just who you will be one day, but who you are becoming right now. That celebration is the fuel that will carry you to tomorrow's victories. As we reach the end of this journey, let's pause and reflect. You've seen how easy it is to lose yourself, reshaping your life for others, becoming obsessed, giving away your peace, neglecting your roots, wasting your time, revealing too much, pleasing without boundaries, fearing solitude, or forgetting your own victories. Each of these habits chips away at your strength until there's little left of the man you were meant to be. But here's the power you must never forget: you always have a choice. The Stoics believed that freedom isn't found in controlling others, but in mastering yourself, your thoughts, your values, your actions. Wisdom, courage, fairness, and self-restraint. These are the pillars of a life that cannot be shaken by someone else's demands. You don't need to trade your identity for affection. You don't need to sacrifice your dignity to feel loved. The strongest relationships are built not on dependency, but on mutual respect. And that begins with you respecting yourself. Real strength is not in holding tighter. It's in letting go of what diminishes you and embracing what makes you whole. The path is yours to walk, and the man you're becoming is already waiting inside you.